if there's a failure to repay.
In the old system, when a homeowner paid their mortgage every month, the money went to their local lender. And since mortgages took decades to repay, lenders were careful. In the new system, lenders sold the mortgages to investment banks. The investment banks combined thousands of mortgages and other loans, including car loans, student loans, and credit card debt, to create complex derivatives called collateralized debt obligations, or CDOs. The investment banks then sold the CDOs to investors. Now when homeowners paid their mortgages, the money went to investors all over the world. The investment banks paid rating agencies to evaluate the CDOs, and many of them were given a AAA rating, which is the highest possible investment grade. This made CDOs popular with retirement funds, which could only purchase highly rated securities. This system was a ticking time bomb. Lenders didn't care anymore about whether a borrower could repay, so they started making riskier loans. The investment banks didn't care either. The more CDOs they sold, the higher their profits. And the rating agencies, which were paid by the investment banks, had no liability if their ratings of CDOs proved wrong.
You weren't going to be on the hook, and there weren't regulatory constraints. So it was a green light to just pump out more and more and more loans.
Between 2000 and 2003, the number of mortgage loans made each year nearly quadrupled.
Everybody in this securitization food chain from the very beginning until the end, they didn't care about the quality of the mortgage. They were caring about maximizing the volume and getting a fee out of it.
In the early 2000s, there was a huge increase in the riskiest loans, called subprime. But when thousands of subprime loans were combined to create CDOs, many of them still received AAA ratings.
Now, it would have been possible to create derivative products that don't have these risks, that carry the equivalent of deductibles, where there are limits on the risks that can be taken on, and so forth. They didn't do that, did they?
They didn't do that, and in retrospect, they should have done.
So these guys know that they were doing something dangerous?
I think they did.
All the incentives that the financial institutions offered to their mortgage brokers were based on selling the most profitable products, which were predatory loans.
The banker makes more money if they put you in a subprime loan. That's where they're gonna put you.
Suddenly, hundreds of billions of dollars a year were flowing through the securitization chain. Since anyone could get a mortgage, home purchases and housing prices skyrocketed. The result was the biggest financial bubble in history.
Real estate is real. They can see their asset. They can live in their asset. They can rent out their asset.
They had a huge boom in housing that made no sense at all. The financing appetites of the financial sector drove what everybody else did.
Last time we had a housing bubble was in the late 80s. In that case, the increase in home prices had been relatively minor. That housing bubble led to a relatively severe recession from 1996 until 2006. Real home prices effectively doubled.
And $500 a ticket. They've come to here how to buy their very own piece of the American dream.
Goldman Sachs, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Merrill Lynch were all in on this. The subprime lending alone increased from $30 billion a year in funding to over $600 billion a year in 10 years. They knew what was happening.
Countrywide Financial, the largest subprime lender,